Somebody might get shot. It is happening. And so now here you are bringing the news of this anti-Islamophobe, which doesn't mean anyone's scared of it, it just means they disagree with it. And now they're having these sensitivity trainings. And
these conferences, and to sort of air out.
That could never happen in Texas, but here we are.
Yep, back to back, and I've heard nothing. It was just someone on Facebook that I picked up the event from. And we have to confront the issue. We have to get out there and protect our freedom of speech, and we have to do so in a sensitive way, making sure that our arguments are backed and that we have a civilized debate and we bring it out to the public square. Certainly the issue about immigration, what kinds of folks we are bringing in, is going to have to be reviewed and taken seriously. Now, it has been as yet unspoken, but if we continue to do it, like you said, we will be France. So do we want to be the next France? We have to make that call.
Well, and I always ask people, like, do you believe that if we were to leave, if we were to capitulate and give them every privilege that they want, convert legal systems to their use, and if they were to get their way, would they leave us alone? I mean, who in their right mind would answer that with yes? It's just not possible. It goes against their nature. It goes against their stated religious goals.
Well, historical patterns. We have 1,400 years to look at.
Yes. And so I can't have a conversation with someone like that, because I'm like, you can't possibly answer that with a yes, and if your answer is no, then the next obvious question is, well, what are we going to do about it? At what point do you stop that kind of movement, that kind of slide into terror?
Right.
At what point do you wait till what? How many people are going to die first? 1, 10, 1,000, 3,000? Maybe we have to wait until 3,000. Maybe the magic number is the 3,000 that were killed in 9/11, and then we'll do something about it. I don't know. My question is, you stop it now and send a message that this will never be tolerated again. You're not welcome with this ideology in Texas.
I didn't hear about that. But
like you said, we have to protect the state.
I know. Yeah, we go down. Everybody else does too.
That's right. Absolutely.
Well, Liz, you got any kind of rap sheet growing on?
No, all that is dormant at the moment. Everyone's behaving. We're going to learn more about it.
My hero.
I guess we'll have to see after this next event, right?
Right. Yeah, keep it posted. Well, and keep us posted on that event too. I mean, we'll all be back from Austin, from the Speaker Showdown, which has been obviously occupying our primary attention, and we'll just keep us posted on it. So we'll see what pans out. It looks like some people are wanting to get some barbecue going. What you doing? I'm still talking.
Oh, sorry. You steal our stuff. Sorry.
Did you not see me talking? Or hear me talking?
No, I didn't see you. Apparently I was zoned out.
I did hear barbecue.
Yeah, I did see that. Somebody was talking about bringing a barbecue out there.
Okay.
Somebody said barbecue, I got distracted.
Yeah, he turned off.
Okay.
He heard barbecue. Well, Liz, thank you so much for stopping by today. You're always welcome. We'll take you on the air anytime we can get you.
Okay.
You're a busy lady.
All right. Well, we'll keep you posted for next week,
All right.
and we'll be out there on the social media. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. I've got to do a video of Tanya's husband.
The black girl, she felt sorry for him. She did. And so she said, what made you move?
How do I start this, Claire?
Don't tell him his doc stuff, man.
I know, right? It's in the middle of the commercial. I don't know how to. Like, I was trying to stop it and rewind and see I'm narrating as I go now.
Yeah, I know. It's actually appropriate at this particular point.
It's at the end of the day. We're closing up shop here, ladies and gentlemen, at Raging Elephants Radio. We hope you enjoyed our coverage of the Party Patriots, Texas Our Texas, Grassroots 3.0. And we will be back on the air in the field on Monday for the Speaker Showdown in Austin, Texas. Oh wait, are you jumping on the microphone here?
These are the Guggenheims. You know the Guggenheims, right?
Oh, absolutely.
from France, and it's right down your alley. The whole Islam, the whole.
Okay, you want me to keep
Yeah,
going?
just for about just 10 minutes. Just get them what they think about what's going on over in France, because that's right down your alley. I mean, you are the terrorism expert on RER, and these folks, they're, you know.
All right, Quaver was talking in my ear here, and we just grabbed a couple more activists at the microphone. What is your first name, sir?
Alain.
Alain?
Yeah.
Alain and Suzanne Guggenheim, and they are involved with Tea Party Patriots as coordinators, right?
Yes,
You are, Suzanne?
Yes.
Okay, and Suzanne is also very active on social networking. I see her everywhere. She's very involved in the immigration issues. See her everywhere. And also Tea Party leadership as well, and have been for a number of years. So, and where are you from originally?
Originally from France.
Really? Okay, so why don't you give us your thoughts on the recent happenings and events and tragedies in Paris?
Sure. We have been at war, let's face it, with what I might call the Nazism, because I think they are Nazis. And actually, during the last war, they supported the Nazis. If you look at the history of the Middle East and the Turkish and some of the other groups, and the Palestinians, they were with the Nazis and the Italian fascists. So these people have been attacking the Western civilization, the Christian world, the Jews, for a number of years, but nobody dares to have the courage to say it. Now, a very liberal, leftist, anarchist, strange newspaper called Charlie Hebdo, which I don't like, most people don't like, and I think that was a tactical mistake actually for the Islamists to attack them, but published just a caricature of the Prophet. And because of that, they killed many people in a revenge killing against thought. So it just shows how far they have gone. Not only they want to die for their beliefs, but they want to kill. And nobody dares to say that we need to do something about it. They declared war on us in America, September 11. We never declared war against them, and we are, at least the current administration, is trying to still treat it like everything else. And unfortunately, even the press, I was listening to Fox News the last few days, they still don't recognize what's happening, because the whole theme was, of all the interviews was, what can we do so that it doesn't happen here? Well, guess what, guys? It has happened several times since 9/11. We have had Muslim attacks, people killed in Boston, killed in Fort Hood and other places. So it is happening, and it will happen again. We are at war with these Nazi Islamists.
Mm-hmm. There is no appeasing at this point. There is none. I was just happening. The guest that I had on before you, Liz, we were just talking about that. Do you have any family and friends in Paris?
Yes, I do, and I have actually part of my family who is Christian, and a half brother and a half sisters who are Jews, and they lost some people in the Holocaust and all that, and they fear for their lives. Actually, if you look at this year there were more than 5,000 French families who migrated to Israel because they are leaving, and it's the largest contingent of the migration ever. So some cities in France have become a majority, more than 50% of the people are Muslims.
Yes.
And out of these Muslims, yes, it is a small minority, maybe 1, 2, 5, 10%, nobody knows, who are extremists, and they are at war against the system. There are places in France where you cannot go safely, you cannot visit the towns, you cannot visit the construction, the HLMs as they call them, because it's not safe. So we don't realize how bad it is, and I think it's a wake-up call. And hopefully people will react and that appease, because I don't trust too much Hollande. Hollande is a socialist. The socialists have been always supporting and for the Palestinians and for the Arabs and for the Muslims. So I don't think they will appease much. achieve much by their appeasement. At least they were right in the way they sent the police to try to intervene, save their hostages and solve it. But France has another big problem, is that there is no gun right.
Right.
So nobody could stop them earlier, like it could have happened somewhere else.
In fact, I had seen some headlines, and I want to make sure that you have an opportunity to correct the record if it's wrong. But didn't, just shortly before this attack, didn't they cede more neighborhoods in various cities to total Muslim control? So that when you're talking about appeasement, this is what you get when you appease.
That's right.
There will be no solving this by ceding more territory to Muslim control.
Several cities in the suburb, even Paris, the police is not even allowed to enter in them anymore.
And they had
Yes,
just turned over more neighborhoods, and then this is what they get. They get, what, 20, almost 20 dead people, even that many more injured. I mean, this is a tragedy, and
predicting that the government itself is predicting that there's going to be more like this coming. They anticipate more egregious, violent attacks like this. I mean, think about it, Heidi. These no-go zones in a country, a sovereign country, willing, under the name of peace or appeasement or let's all get along or kumbaya, giving up their sovereign territory and saying we have no authority there. And I got to tell you something. I have to admit I am guilty because I have seen those, even here within Texas, that have been warning, fighting, admonishing about the potential of this type of Sharia coming to Texas. And I'm like, God, man, that's hyperbole. And I'm like, wait a minute. If these clowns over in Europe are literally giving away territory in the name of let's all get along, yeah, it could happen. We need those laws passed that says no Sharia in Texas, where law enforcement needs to go to protect our rights, protect our laws, our way of life, our social mores, our liberty. Law enforcement needs to go. None of this no-go stuff just because of your religious belief. That's beyond religious liberty. And that's special privileges. And that's violating our rights as citizens to protect and defend ourselves. I plead guilty. Before, I thought it was a bunch of just people just being panicked and just, I thought it was nonsense. No more. No more. We need to be very vigilant about protecting our social mores, our way of life, our rule of law, and our Jesus-given rights.
well, one thing that I never thought I'd see in Texas was pro-terrorist, anti-Israel rallies, and they have happened in Houston and Austin, where you've got pro-Hamas rallies that are attended by thousands, and then marches through the streets. Never thought I'd see the day, and I'm like, this has to be San Francisco. This can't possibly be Austin or Houston, but pro-terrorist rallies, because that's all Hamas is, a bunch of terrorists.
Absolutely. And I saw there is this month's rally in Houston that is scheduled against the Islamophobes, which we know what that means. That's against us.
Anyone that doesn't give them what they want is going to be considered a foe.
That's right.
Well, and that's happening. That's what Liz was here to talk about. She's saying that there is going to be something happening on Sunday, the 18th, and all that information was available. And she's really going to blow it up. Suzanne, I've seen you active on social networking too about that. So, folks, keep your eyes open in your social networks for this kind of information, because that's how we spread the word. So do you know of anyone, when you're talking with friends or family that is still in Paris, has anybody had an epiphany? Has anyone had their eyes open, or are they going to go back to sleep? I'm wondering about your contacts after something like this happens. Are the people waking up and going, oh, hell no? Or are they going, oh, so sad, and then they go back to whatever it was they were doing?
Well, there is like here a minority of activists, and Suzanne was one of the founders.
They are all my contacts, so they are not going back to sleep.
They're not. Okay, because you had surrounded yourself. You're a rabble-rouser. I like that, Suzanne.
But
I say that with the highest of respect.
But it's
We are
true
too.
that it's true that the majority of the population is either scared or not interested. They're more interested in sports or in the latest American TV show. And I think that's not going to change for a while. People unfortunately understand only when things get really bad and when they get hurt personally for the majority of them. So there's two things. One, we need to keep the message clear. The minority or the Muslims who are so-called moderate say, oh, no problem, we're against them, we're with you and all that. So let's support them. Let's have a message clear that we are not anti-Muslims, we are anti-terrorists. And we want the rule of law to apply to everybody and to protect them. Because in these enclaves of Muslim rule and Sharia places, most moderate Muslims live hidden and they are scared too and they would love to be protected. So we have to make sure we understand we want to protect everybody against terrorists and bad people.
What you're talking about is the rule of law as opposed to rule of men. Rule of men is arbitrary, rule of law is fair.
Absolutely.
So, and because I can't imagine that some of the moderate Muslims, and we all know from it's Brigitte Gabrielle who says that, the majority is irrelevant if they don't speak out and fight. She said the silent majority is irrelevant. But when you have moderates that are probably, they're a little bit more westernized or probably appreciating having escaped some oppression, that's probably why they went there in the first place, and now they see that same evil cloud of oppression and tyranny following them to their new home and sucking them in with all of the death and fear that portends for them. And yeah, the rule of law would protect them, but nobody gets to be free for free.
That's right, and that's why we have to encourage them to speak up. If they don't speak up, they will be the first victims because they are too close to the evil to survive for very long.
In our own Declaration of Independence, our founding fathers were wise enough to be students of human nature, and they said that mankind is disposed to suffer great evil while it is still sufferable, rather than to abolish the forms to which they are accustomed. And that basically just means people will tolerate all the way up because it's going to be too hard and too scary to go to battle, to abolish that which has made them comfortable. They just learn to tolerate instead. And I think that Europe has seen that happen. They've tolerated a great deal. And now people are losing their lives in the name of tolerance and appeasement. And I'm really going to be, when we have the United States president refusing to call it terrorism,